What's up everybody, there's a new mobile idle RPG gacha game dropping globally very soon. From my understanding, it will be on March 18th, basically a week to go, so I've been testing it out on the beta server for a little over a week now, and I want to share my thoughts about the game. The game is called Monster Never Cry. Let's get it. Looking over the main screen here, it's got the castle themed, and then there's various monsters such as demons and dragons. So I'm just going to open up the monster list here, go to the gallery, cue that elevator music, and then I'm just going to browse through a couple of them so you can get a feel for the kind of art style this game has to offer. Now this game does have many features I am familiar with, but there were some here that I haven't seen in a while, such as the building aspect. If you scroll down a little bit here on the main screen, you're going to see here you can build a lot of different rooms. Now these give you various resources, like if I click on one, you're going to be able to gain gold, and then every so often you check them and there's going to be rewards that pop up that you can get. I think I just did it recently, so there isn't right now. And then you can go back out. You also have a craft workshop, where you can actually click on them and you get resources back. Then there's the hatchery where, of course, you're going to be hatching these eggs for various monsters. I played AFK Arena many years ago. I think it was like 3+ years ago. And it had something similar, which was the furniture feature to boost your hero's stats. And I believe they also gain like new exclusive abilities. They also have a spin on the hero gacha or monsters in this game, but I'm most likely going to be calling them heroes because that's just what I'm used to in the games I play. You're going to have a chance, so if I open up my monsters, and I'm just going to click on a hero so you have an idea, you're going to have a chance here to get the regular, aka non-shiny version. So if I go to, where is he, right here, Loki, so it's going to be your non-shiny, aka your regular. You're also going to be able to have the chance to summon a shiny version. Obviously the rates are going to be very low for this, but I did get one, so if we look up here, this is the shiny version. The shiny version boosts the base stats, so I'll put them on the screen so you can see the comparison, as well as changing the appearance of the hero. There's also an aptitude rating, which is right here, and I'm assuming the higher the number, the better the copy. So in a way, this is kind of like RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. I mean, you got RNG to get the hero, RNG to get either a non-shiny or a shiny, and then RNG to get a high aptitude value. Now, I don't want this to be a red flag, but I just thought I would mention this, but the variance in stats seems to be very minimal. Most will want a shiny just because it's going to give you a new appearance, kind of like a skin that's for free. Combat-wise, I do like the animations. However, I feel like the actual background of the stage is very basic. Like right here during your idle experience, you can see the heroes are running through some kind of like winter theme, looking something like out of Mortal Kombat in the Nether Realm. But if you click on the actual combat, and then you can see it changes, and let's just go into it so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. You can see it's just very basic, like it goes from a top-down view. You're basically looking at nothing, it looks like snow or ice. It's just very bland, very plain, very boring in my opinion. You can change it up to 2x speed, and there are 2 different camera angles, but it really doesn't help that much. And I'm not sure if this is just because it's in beta, but sometimes when the heroes use skills, you can kind of see it's like a square box. I'm not sure if that's a graphical glitch, but there you saw it right there. And I think there's other times it does it. But yeah, it's just like a square black box, and I hope that gets fixed because I have noticed that, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be there or not. However, if we go back into combat, just so I can explain one more thing, there's actually no freedom with your hero skills. It's just basically all automated, meaning you can't even turn on or off your ultimates for all your heroes or for specific heroes. Some players might like this, some may not. Personally, for me, I kind of like having the option to turn them on or off, just because sometimes I don't always need to use them. But right here, there's no option to do that. Hopefully they add that as an quality of life fix in the global version. Game modes that I have experienced thus far being 10 days in. So if we go into my bonus, you can see I'm on day 10 right now. If we go over to Devil Dom, you can see here, this is where all your game modes are going to be. And you can see you can also run stuff in the background. So even though that the campaign stage is not on the screen, it's running in the background and I can go do other things. And then when I fail or beat the stage, I can just simply click confirm or next and it continues doing so. I really like this. It helps you be time efficient and you can do other things like your dailies, weeklies, other forms of game modes, and you don't have to sit there watching everything happen. So there's campaign, of course, which I've showed. Then there's going to be PvP, and there's actually quite a lot of it in this game. I'm just going to actually stop this just so it doesn't keep popping up. You have Void Clash, which seems to be like your tournament style. Try to rank high. As you can see, there's different divisions, and you're going to get seasonal rewards. And then you go down here to Supremacy Throne. And then you're going to have your classic arena, very standard for these games. It's going to be 1v1 against another person, one lineup against one lineup. And then you have Archdemon Temple. This is actually pretty neat because you seem to get a lot of rewards for this. Basically, you're going to be put into a tier. Right now I'm in Lord tier. I'm going to click on it. And then you're going to try to climb the rankings. And when you get up to, I think, a specific one, you go through promotions. And then if you win a certain amount of times, you get promoted into the next tier. But there's a lot of room here for getting a lot of gems. I've noticed this, and that's very good for the free-to-play players like myself. Then you have Nether Void Domain, and honestly, I have no idea what this is. These players are absolute monsters. Do keep in mind, I am playing on the latest server, being 9. So if I show you this on the screen right now, you can see there's only 9 servers. And I think this one was like 2 weeks old when I started. They stopped releasing new ones to my knowledge. I'm assuming because they are waiting for global launch, which will be, from my understanding, on March 18th. I also wanted to quickly mention there's a lot of talk when games transition from beta/early access with no data wipes to global. And then from what I've read on global, all the pre-global servers, so if we look at the list right here, servers 1 to 9, they're going to be condensed into one server, and it's going to be separate from the global servers. So now this is both good and bad. It's good because, well, obviously global players don't want to just compete with players playing for months and months, but then those beta players are kind of left out to dry as no new players will be joining them. So when those players quit, the player base is going to slowly decline. Like, what do you do? Because you're not going to be able to play with people from global. I suppose that's going to be a topic for another time. So let's just go back into some more of the game modes. If we go into Mirror Abyss, this is going to be your tower. However, there's no faction tower right now, unless it has specific requirements and magically appears later on. I can't see it. Basically, this is your standard tower. You can use any faction, any heroes you want. I'll just click on it so we have something on the screen while I'm talking. Maybe they're going to add this during global. I really don't know why these idle gachas do this. Regular tower is fine, but when you have multiple factions, like pretty much any idle gacha has, I see no reason to not have faction towers. It allows you to actually make use of those different heroes in the game, plus you get rewards, and it gives you something to do when, say, you're power stuck on the main tower. So we're going to back out of that and go more into the game mode. So we have Greedy Cave. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is simply your daily quick claim resources. You got some resources like Mithril for store currency. You got mana, which is basically your hero XP. Stuff like that. It's in all the games. Destiny Ocean actually has some unique features like the Void Exploration. It's basically a giant game board and you're rolling dice for resources. Honestly, you can get a lot of good stuff here. Plus, you can stumble across mystery chest items. If we click on this, that have some decent rewards, such as these devil cores, which I'll get into later. I always buy them up. Basically, it's going to be your faction summon currency. So I'll do a couple dice rolls. I got 2 left. So I'm going to roll the dice. I just did a round, so I'm going to be able to collect those rewards. And then basically more stuff on the screen happens. Because you can see I got some mystery chest items. I rolled the dice. I landed on this. And what do we got? Teleport to Space Crystal. I don't know what that means, so we're going to go to Space Crystal, and there we go. And we were able to get 200 gems just like that. Divine Descent. Now this is where I really like the game because these are basically world bosses as they have solo plus server damage rewards. So as you can see right here, when the server reaches total damage, you can get different rewards. I'll click on challenge right now. This is my typical lineup I'm running. Obviously, you have your faction auras that you can play around with. Basically, I'm just clicking on my top 5 heroes that I've invested into, and then we're going to go into combat. Now, a lot of these game modes do have the skip feature, but it's hidden behind either your account level or your VIP level. So this one right here, I'm actually able to skip. As you can see, it did a little bit of lag. And that is just because I think it's a beta version. I do find a lot of glitches in this game, but I was able to get some rewards there. And if we look at the battle statistics to see your battle report, see which heroes are lacking or which heroes are doing what. I can then raid this another 2 times. You can see it takes your previous damage, which was for me 5.14. I'm just going to click on raid. And I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to do that a couple times for my reward preview. You can see I did, I think it was over 5 million. So I was able to get this. If I reach 6 million, it slowly increases all the way up until it looks like the max cap is 21 million. If we look at the server, this is the stuff you're going to be able to get. At the end, you're going to be able to click one of these and you're going to be able to get a giant hammer box, which these are pets, which are pretty neat. Those are those things in the combat you saw that showed those animations at the very beginning. So it does seem to be generous for both the solo and the server rewards. If we click on the information, it's on a 14-day cycle. In each cycle, you can challenge up to 4 bosses. Each of them stays for 3 days. City Guardian switches between solo and full team mode. This is another game mode that I enjoy. Right now it's on the full team mode. So basically you're going through different waves. You can see there's 12 waves for each floor. I'm on floor 13 and I can only get up to wave 9 right now. But if you look at your first clearance rewards, you can see there's quite a bit of floors that I still have to get through. Solo, same thing. I can click on challenge and I'll just show you, go into combat, and basically it's going to run through here, and there's no skip feature. So for what I do is I kind of watch it for a little bit just to see where my heroes are dying. And then I just simply back out and it's going to run in the background. Dimensional Trial Space is kind of like your rotational events page. They open on specific days of the week. I don't think any of them are available right now, and I'm not at a high enough account level to see what the Misty Mines is. But I have experienced Wonderland Fishery, and honestly, it's my least favorite. Very, very boring. You're just throwing your fishing rod into the water and hoping to catch some fish for your fish tank. Not much going on there. For Maze of Fate, I remember it being a little bit more enjoyable, and it has better rewards. Now, Memory Casket is kind of like your story progression. You get the corresponding hero to use for the various quests. So if we click on Dracula, this is my current one. You're going to be able to see if I click skip. Okay, that one wasn't a battle. This one, I have to defeat all the enemies. No more than 3 of mine can be defeated. You can see right here, I get the hero basically as a trial, and I can use him in my combat to beat this Memory Casket. What I really like is for the Memory Fusion, when after clearing the specific Memory Casket, it opens up the chance to face the boss. That gives you nice rewards. You can see these ones are going to be giving you eggs. I already cleared it, so I can't click on it. But for this one, collect 50 shards and you can possibly get a legendary or a Hellfire Evo egg. Now, there is a difference between the two. Basically, these are different rarities. Legendaries are kind of like your meh heroes, your early/mid game heroes. Hellfire Evo eggs are more of like your late game, end game sort of hero that you want to eventually work towards. But what's really interesting is after Zenobia, I think that's how you say her name, you're going to be able to start getting those rare faction hero eggs to get the corresponding heroes. So when I eventually beat this one, you can see if I click on the egg, I go into details, I'm going to be able to get a copy of Zenobia. So that's really cool because this is one of the rare faction heroes. There's 2 of them in the game, which I'll cover in a few seconds. Now I figured I'd share my experience thus far with the gacha raids. This is a gacha game after all. Let me just confirm this. This is a gacha game after all, and if you're like me, you live for the adrenaline rush of pulling those legendary heroes. This is a free-to-play perspective of 10 days in, like I mentioned earlier. So there always seems, if we go into the events, there always seems to be these like limited time events for packed summons. It just seems to alternate between which heroes are going to be available. Like on this one, you have, this is one of the rare factions right here, and then you only have one of the other one. And then you have some of the regular faction heroes like these ones. But basically this is just going to rotate, and pack summons seems to be the way to go. So during my first week, I was doing these pack summons, and then if we look at the rates right here, I actually pulled this 20,000 gems at a 0.1% rate. This is pretty crazy. I've never done this in all the gacha games I've played that have this as a reward. Then I went over to this one, which is still ongoing for this new hero. I don't even know how to pronounce this name, but I did my first 10 pull and I got a copy of her. And then I was like, dang, this account is blessed, super lucky. But I'm not going to continue on this one because I am focusing on other heroes. But yeah, 20k gems and then that on my first 10 pull. The issue with any gacha game is that you will need dupes to ascend, so targeting these as a free-to-play is probably not the best idea, as it's going to slow down your progression while waiting for copies. Regular summons, like if we go right here to the gem gacha, honestly, in my opinion, are pretty bad. I'd say 99.9% of the time you're going to get hero food, which is like those legendary heroes that are not good. Some are good, but most of them are not good. I wouldn't advise using gems on these summons and would stick with pack summons or buying these devil cores to do faction summons. Like if we look at my roster right here, I have so much hero food. Like look at all these 5 stars that I've got. Keeps going, keeps going. going. I mean, does it stop? I have no idea. You seem to get hero food at a consistent rate is what I'm saying. But those devil cores, so like if I go into the shop right here, these devil cores right here, I think these are just highly valuable because if you go into the summons, I target the Draconis and Abyssal faction heroes just because I'm all in it to win it. I have no regret. One of the good things is it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so every time you do one summon here, you can go into the shop and you're able to get one of these crystals, which you can then eventually save up and then pick the specific hero you want. Overall, I am liking this game, but that's not to say there isn't issues. Like I said, it's quite buggy at times where my heroes disappear off the screen. Certain things aren't explained well, but hopefully these are polished up by global release. I will most likely keep this account because, as you see by looking at my roster, I feel I've been very lucky with my pulls. I got a lot of those rare faction heroes. Yes, it's going to take a lot of dupes to awaken them further in the stars, but I still got them. So I probably will make an account on global so I can play with everyone. So if this game looks like something you want to try out, the information will be in the video description. As always, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.